Justin Steele is back. Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki may not be too far behind. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Cubs bullpen blowing yet another game as the Cubs fall to the Padres last night. And we're going to talk about the rest of this series and who might be joining the Cubs as early as today. Make sure to like and subscribe. Here is your invitation to the Cubs baseball channel. What's up, everybody? Let's get this party started. My name is Anthony Pasquale for the Cubs baseball channel on Twitter at @Ant_Pasquale3. The biggest storyline of last night's game, of course, was Justin Steele being back. And of course, he was on a pitch count, his first game back from the opening day game that he was dealing through, only gave up one run through 4 2/3 innings. And he went down with that hamstring injury, hit the injured list until last night. He came back, had a shutout first inning, couple of strikeouts, and ended up going 4 2/3. They pulled him with 68 pitches, so it seemed like Craig Counsell and company were pretty strict on the 70 pitch count for Steele. But he looked great in his first game back, and I'm coming out with an article for Cubs HQ pretty soon. Aces are wild. Steele looks good. Imanaga's been outstanding. Tyone has been fantastic. And Javier Assad has been arguably the best pitcher in baseball outside of Shota. So you've got a rotation that looks extremely strong. The only problem, the bullpen just keeps on blowing games. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But Justin Steele is back in this Cubs rotation. His final line, 4 2/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts against the Padres, a team that he has had some success in early on in his career. Now, the thing about Steele and Counsell and everything that just bothered me a little bit is it seemed like Steele was cruising. Now, I know that 70 pitch count was a parameter that you didn't want Steele to really blow past, but it seemed like with one more batter to get in the 5th inning, they could have let Steele get that last out, finish a strong 5 innings, and then turn it over to the bullpen. Instead, they went to Richard Lovelady with 1 out to get in the 5th inning. He got that out pretty easily. Then he came out for the 6th inning, and it was a mess. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, and Daniel Palencia followed, gave up 3 more runs on 3 hits. The 6th inning for the Cubs, after Steele went 4 2/3 shutout, the 6th inning, they allowed 6 runs before getting a single out. And they gave up 6 runs all in the top of that 6th inning. The bottom of the 6th, Yan Gomes hit a home run. In the 7th, Christopher Morel, I had that flipped. In the 6th, Christopher Morel hit a homer. In the bottom of the 7th, Yan Gomes hit a home run himself. But the Cubs end up losing 6-3 to the Padres last night. They had a chance to get things a little bit closer and keep the fight going, but instead, they take a tough loss at the hand of the Padres, who are one team that the Cubs, it seems like they really owe so far this season. They had that 8-0 lead that they ended up blowing. They won a game out there in San Diego and lost another one. They lost that series, and they lost the opener of this series against former Cub Yu Darvish. But the story of the night, of course, Justin Steele, off to a really great start so far this season. Only 2 starts, but he's only allowed 1 run in almost 9 innings of work. I'm excited to see him back on the mound and see what more he can give to this rotation that's already been so solid. But again, the problem far and far again, this bullpen, it's been terrible. And it's been no matter who's going out there. Jose Cuas, Alzolay, Palencia, Lovelady today. Mark Leiter has been great, had a bad outing in there. Yency Almonte on and off. It's just been such a struggle for this Cubs team. Today, it was with a tie game. But time and time again, we've seen them have a lead, turn it over to a bullpen, and either a big lead turns into a small lead, or a small lead turns into a tie game, or a game that you end up losing. And the fact of the matter is this Cubs team is off to a really great start so far this season. 21-15, tied for first place in the division. But the issue is 15 of those losses maybe 5 of them could have been wins, and you could be looking at a 26-10 record at this point. The Cubs are a good team. They could be a great team, and I fully believe that. I think they have the rotation, they have the lineup, they have everything it takes to be a great team, except the bullpen. They don't have the bullpen of a great team. And if you keep giving away losses this way, if you keep losing games that you have the ability to win, once you get to September, you're going to be looking back at your calendar thinking, man, we should have so many more wins. It shouldn't be this tight for us to get into the playoffs. And maybe we'll miss the playoffs, just like last year when the Cubs missed out by just a game. Now, they do have a game on the docket today. The Cubs take on the Padres later, and they might be with a few players that we've been missing. Obviously, Justin Steele returned to the lineup yesterday with his start. Cody Bellinger and Seiya Suzuki are not far behind. Taylor McGregor reported that both players could join the Cubs this week. Seiya Suzuki likely will need a rehab assignment in Iowa before returning to the roster, but Cody Bellinger, he's recovering well. He's already starting to hit. He's starting to field. His return to the Cubs will not need a rehab assignment. He could come back to the team as early as today or tomorrow during this Padres series. It's likely if Suzuki, if everything goes well, will join the team on the road in Pittsburgh this weekend. But boy, it would be fantastic to get both these two players back in this Cubs lineup that has been just struggling to get runs across. You go down 6-0 and you feel like, damn, this is going to be a tough game to win. And the Cubs have an art when they play at Wrigley Field that kind of breathes some air back into the stadium, mount together a little rally. A 2-run homer from Morel in the 6th and a solo shot from Gomes in the 7th made you think that the Cubs had a chance. Then in the 8th, they load the bases. Patrick Wisdom walks to lead off the inning as a pinch hitter. Dansby Swanson walked, and then Nick Madrigal lined a single into right field. Bases loaded, nobody out for Pete Crow Armstrong, Yan Gomes, and then the top of the order in Nico Hoerner. In these situations, the crowd's getting into it. You're down 3 runs. All you need is to put the ball in play. Pete Crow Armstrong struck out. Yan Gomes struck out. Nico Hoerner flew out. You can't have those type of at-bats when your team is down 3 runs and you need to get something cooking. In addition to that, the thing that has been bothering me so much about this stretch of baseball without Seiya Suzuki and Cody Bellinger is the fact that Ian Happ has been back into that 3-hole. We've talked about this time and time again last season. Mick and I have discussed it on this show. Ian Happ is not a 3-hitter on a playoff team. He's a good player. He's a fine player. Solid defensively, really good eye, has great on-base skills, good bat-to-ball skills. He's not a power guy anymore. He's not a 3-hitter. He's not a 4-hitter. He's your leadoff guy, or he's a 5, 6, or 7 hitter. Putting him in that 3-hole puts him up to bat with runners in scoring position all the time because Nico Hoerner and Mike Tauchman have been phenomenal setting the table for him. And he has continued time and time again, over and over and over, not delivered. I'm done with Ian Happ batting third. It just cannot happen on a team that you want to win ball games and go deep into the playoffs. Ian Happ cannot be your 3-hitter. Why not lead him off and have Nico Hoerner bat third? Nico Hoerner's got better slug. He's been way hotter at the plate as of late. And wouldn't you rather have a guy putting the ball in play like that with runners on? Wouldn't you rather prefer Hoerner in that 3 spot with a runner on second or a runner on third, as opposed to Happ, who struck out 3 times yesterday? I would. I definitely would. And that's something I wish that Craig Counsell would not be so stuck on. Ian Happ in the 3 spot. We saw it not work with Ross, and Ross got absolutely hammered for it day in and day out. And I understand that the Cubs don't have a lot of better options with Seiya Suzuki and Cody Bellinger injured, potentially not for long. But I think Horner's a better option in the 3 spot. I think Morel is a better option in the 3 spot, who just hit another home run last night. I even think a guy like Michael Busch is a better option in the 3 spot than Ian Happ at the moment. Ian Happ not only struggling, but just does not have the makeup for a 3-hole hitter. And I think we've been over that a few times. And I know we mentioned it. We talked about Justin Steele being back. One thing that bothers me is that Craig Counsell has this tendency of bringing in pitchers in a what we call dirty inning, which means there's a runner on base, letting him get out of that jam, and then bringing him back out to start the next inning. And typically we've seen this happen with Palencia. We've seen it happen with Leiter, with Almonte. When these pitchers go back out for that second inning, they're just not as sharp. Maybe they lost the edge from warming up. Maybe they lost some adrenaline from coming into that dirty inning. But the fact of the matter is, it just hasn't worked out. And I saw it as clear as day when the Cubs took out Justin Steele after 4 2/3 inning and Richard Lovelady got the last out of the fifth. When he came out to start the sixth, I was worried. I just felt like it was bad news. It seems like whenever Counsell goes to the bullpen, brings somebody in a dirty inning, when they come back out to start the next inning, that leadoff guy gets on, and before you know it, 2, 3, 4, in this case, 6 runs are on the board, and the Cubs take a 6-3 loss to the Padres last night, a team that has provided some very stinging losses so far this season. And we mentioned the Cubs squandered the bases loaded with no outs in the 8th inning. If you want to win a ball game, you can't be doing that. Leaving 10 runners on base, only getting 2 hits with runners in scoring position all day long, that's a stinger to any offense, especially one that has been struggling mightily without 2 of your best players. Now, it's good to be optimistic. I'm a 10 glass half full type of guy. I'd love to get Cody Bellinger back in this lineup. I'm interested to see what the move would be going back down. I'd imagine either Miles Mastrobuoni or Alexander Canario. Canario's just a guy, we think he's got a lot of pop. He's got a lot of potential. But the fact of the matter is, with Pete Armstrong playing pretty well, Bellinger, Happ, Suzuki, and Talkman on this roster, you really can't hold a 6th outfielder. So I'd imagine Canario could be going back down to Iowa. Miles Mastrobuoni is another guy. If both outfielders were healthy, I would imagine also heads back down to Iowa, because it seems like the Cubs really do value Madrigal's defense. And then Patrick Wisdom has been one of their best hitters as of late. So I think you couldn't send him down. So we'll keep an eye on if that move happens. The corresponding move, by the way, to Justin Steele returning was Keegan Thompson being set down. He was great for his first few outings in the big leagues this season, making a strong return after a long stint in the minors. And then he struggled his last couple outings. And I think this is just go back to Iowa, get sharp. We need you for the rest of the season. And I fully believe Keegan Thompson is a part of this Cubs bullpen once they finally figure things out. I think Keegan Thompson is going to play a huge role down the stretch this season, especially if this team has playoff aspirations. I really do think Thompson is going to be a part of it, but he's back to the minor leagues for now with Little and Jose Cuas and some of the other guys that need to work on a few things before they come back. Colton Brewer, Richard Lovelady, and Daniel Palencia staying on the big league roster for now. Those are 3 guys, and the 3 guys I just mentioned that could be flip-flopping at some point in the coming days. Carl Edwards Jr., another guy who we talked about that could be coming up soon. And with Steele back, it seems like Hayden Wesneski is going to currently stay in the rotation, and Ben Brown is going to transition into a bullpen role. And as the Cubs play the Padres today at 6:40, Mark Leiter Jr., Hector Neris, Ben Brown, whom we just mentioned, are all some of the guys who should be ready to go, rested 100% to pitch if they need to. But the Cubs have their so-called second ace on the mound tonight in Shota Imanaga. 5-0 on the season with a sparkling 0.78 ERA. Would be the best in the major leagues if he qualified. All he needs to do is pitch 4 innings tonight, and he will qualify. And assuming he's as good as he's been, he'll be back near the top of that ERA leaderboard at the end of the night. But the Cubs need him to do the thing he's done all year. Give him a win. He's been the stopper. He's been the streak starter for this Cubs team, and they face Randy Vasquez, who's 0-1 with a 5.87 ERA on the season. Looking to get to him early and often, provide Shota Imanaga with a lead, and hopefully the Cubs can sing the song at Wrigley Field. This jersey, we need to get it on the right track. I'm 0-2 on the season when I wear this jersey. Opening day, well, first of all, it's a Justin Steele jersey. You obviously can't see the back. It's a Justin Steele jersey. I got it for Christmas. He was my favorite player last season, and I really wanted to get a jersey, so I got it for Christmas. I wore it on opening day. In the 4th inning, he injured himself. I was like, man, this jersey's bad luck. He finally comes back. I decided to go to the game last night, throw this jersey on. and the Cubs take a 6-3 loss, and Justin Steele pitched well, but doesn't get the win. So we need to get this jersey right. I'm going to go to the game tonight and try to figure things out for the Cubs. Hopefully they get a win, and we can talk to you all tomorrow celebrating a Cubs win against the Padres. Of course, Shota back on the mound. The Cubs take on the Padres at 6:40 p.m. tonight. But again, I'm Anthony Pasquale. Thank you guys always for tuning into the Cubs baseball channel. Get in the comments. Say who you want to see hitting. Maybe give us a suggestion who you would like to see in that 3-hole, because I don't think it can be Ian Happ for that much longer. Let us know what you're thinking about Craig Counsell. Is he doing a good job? Is Patrick Wisdom supposed to stay on the team? Is Shota Imanaga going to win the Cy Young? Let us know what you think. Get in the comments. Tell us everything. Me and Mick will be back talking to you guys later in the week. But thank you guys so much always for coming here and chatting with us on the Cubs baseball channel. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time and hopefully flying that W. Go Cubs.